people that know guns, you can change magazine clips in a second. There's no evidence that anything would have changed. People want magazines for the same reason police carry 17-round magazines to protect Capitol Hill.
What's going on, guys? Special episode today of Real Talk from the Whiskey Wall. I've got Chris, the owner and founder of King 33, Special Forces guy, here with me because we're having a very real, very uncomfortable, very candid conversation about the size of magazines here in Connecticut. Chris, what's the limit on magazines?
10 rounds on a semi-auto.
So 10 rounds, legislation that was passed after the Newtown shooting. The idea being that somehow only having a maximum of 10 rounds in a magazine would prevent mass casualty incidents in school shootings and the like. Chris, will they?
No.
Why?
Because you can carry as many rounds as you want. Even if they were carrying a cylinder gun, they could carry as many rounds for that cylinder gun as they want.
Chris, how long does it take to change out a magazine?
Less than a second, if you're good.
Here's what we're gonna do. In these next scenes, we're going to walk you through a couple of different scenarios, showing you a mock active shooter situation. I'm gonna give you a warning on this. This is not going to be comfortable. This is not necessarily going to be easy to watch, but this is very real, and these are the conversations that we need to be having. So let's go.
All right, in scenario one, our shooter is unopposed. He's carrying an unknown number of 10-round magazines, and he has an unlimited amount of time and unrestricted access to use as much time and ammunition as he needs to accomplish his goals. So debrief scenario one. It didn't matter how many magazines, 10 rounds or 5 rounds that he had all the time in the world, he had all the resources in the world, and it doesn't matter how he got them, legally or illegally. He basically had enough time to come in here and kill all of us 3 times each. What we would want to see is that eventually he was not able to even get in the door. And then 2, that there was somebody, a good guy with a gun, that was able to come and minimize that threat, eliminate that threat completely.
I was trying to think about how to prepare for this, and then he came through the door before I could even think. Did you say that your gun malfunctioned at one point, or did it not? Didn't really matter, did it?
No.
Still got it off and made sure I was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I turned and there's just no way to go. And he shot me, I think, 4th. And there was still nothing I could do.
And how fast did he go from 1 to 4? Pretty damn
Oh,
fast.
it was fast. Yeah. It was real quick.
When you see it, you're also in denial. So that's, again, in my favor as the attacker.
Yeah. In scenario 2, our shooter is going to be opposed. He's still going to have 10-round magazines and an unknown number of magazines. But the opposition is a good guy with a gun, whether it be a security guard, school resource officer, or a police officer, coming in to eliminate the threat. Scenario 2, our shooter came in the door, but he was opposed. We had a good guy with the gun, whatever capacity he was in, cop, security guard, anything like that, and he happened to be in close proximity. Even if he had gotten through his second, third mag, or in a longer duration here in this classroom, but the good guy with the gun shows up and eliminates the threat, it eliminated the possibility for that threat to go on to another room and continue his mayhem.
If I knew there was somebody in here with a gun, either 1, I wouldn't have shown up, or 2, that would have been the first person I took out, and it just shows that you really should carry concealed as opposed to exposed, or exposing yourself like that, because you're just
Gives you some element of surprise. Yep.
Yeah, you're just making yourself a target.
He only got 1 shot on me, so I could have survived that easier than before when you probably got 3. So.
What did I say? Send bourbon.
2, 3.
All right, so Chris, we've seen what can happen when somebody can come in unstopped into a school and open fire. We've seen what can happen when someone can come in, open fire, and there's a good guy with a gun to stop them. But what we haven't seen is a situation in which a shooter comes in and can't get entry into that classroom. I want you to walk everybody through some very practical, very real steps that can be taken in the classroom by teachers who are not allowed to be armed. Walk us through what they could do.
So there's a anti-entry packet that we've put together, and it consists of 4 key items. A doorstop, a communication nonverbal system, a medical kit, and then an instruction book to go with that. And the idea with that is if you get your lockdown procedures and your doors being kicked in, how do you keep that door from being kicked in? Some doors go in, some doors go out. So there's a couple of door steps that we use. Now, when a faculty member or a SWAT team member arrives and they want to find out if you're okay and everybody else is okay in there, and you can give them a couple of options. I'm not okay, you give them one color. You're okay, you give them another color of these pieces of paper with instructions on them. If there's a low light situation, they can't see the color of the paper, we can use chem lights. And then on top of that, if somebody does get hurt, for whatever reason, a medical kit to go with it. And again, that instruction piece being the fourth piece. So whoever knocks on the door, you find out if they're a good guy, you're gonna give them some form of communication, they're gonna validate that.
Got it.
And then if you're okay, they're gonna move on to the next room and render aid to the next people first.
Guys, the reason that I turned to Chris and his team at King 33 is because I know that these guys are extremely experienced in providing that training and those courses to school districts, to corporations, to towns. Very, very experienced in that arena. So if anybody wants to reach out to you guys for that training or for that expertise, how can they reach you?
Website's gonna be the easiest thing, king33training.com. We're also on Facebook, King33 LLC, as well as Instagram. And then just look us up there and send us an email, info@king33training.com.
In the meantime, the rest of you who are your everyday civilians who are looking for some outstanding training, go visit these guys. Brother,
As
thank
always.
you so much.